As of now, it looks like it's going to still be a couple of weeks before we know more about the Omicron strain. Things like, does it spread faster? Does it make you sicker? And is it available as an NFT? But over in MAGA world, they seem to already have figured it all out.
The emergence of the new COVID variant is sparking a fresh round of conspiracy theories. Former White House doctor turned MAGA Congressman Ronnie Jackson tweeted, quote, "Here comes the MEV, the midterm election variant. They need a reason to push unsolicited nationwide mail-in ballots. Democrats will do anything to cheat during an election, but we're not going to let them."
It defies logic, and listen here, unfortunately, it's not just Ronnie Jackson. If it was just Congressman Jackson or Dr. Jackson, we could call him out, but he's getting help on you-know-where.
It's always a new variant.
And you'll count on a variant about every October, every 2 years.
Oh, I think it's going to, yep. You know, you're probably right.
I mean, however...
They could speed up. The variariants could come more quickly. And
we're going to need a new variant here.
My gosh.
Okay, just so I've got this straight. According to this conspiracy, the Democrats' big plan is to intentionally never solve the one problem that is ruining everyone's life. That is such a dumbass strategy to win an election. Which makes me think maybe the Democrats actually did come up with it. Aha! I mean, you realize for this to be true, the Democrats would have had to coordinate on this lie with the World Health Organization and South African scientists and governments across Europe. You serious, people? You know the Democrats can't coordinate shit. Only thing Democrats can coordinate is their kente cloths. And it's bad enough to hear this from a congressman, but what's crazy is that before he was in Congress, people forget Ronnie Jackson was the president's doctor. The president's doctor. And not just Trump's doctor, by the way, Obama's doctor too. Yeah, that guy. This just shows you how bad America's healthcare system. Even the president was like, you're telling me that he's the only doctor in my network? I mean, seriously, it's amazing that Obama and Trump actually survived. One of them sneezes and Ronnie Jackson is like, you've got to realign your electrons, quick, swallow as many magnets as possible. And by the way, of all the shows, how does Fox and Friends not understand what new variants are? Every 4 months, Fox and Friends has 2 totally different dudes and 1 new woman saying the same bullshit from the same couch. I mean, if that isn't a new variant, I don't know what is. Hey, but whatever, man. I guess the Democrats, in coordination with scientists in South Africa, Europe, Israel, all over, are simply pretending there's a new corona variant out there. That's what they're doing. Yeah, and they're not only doing it to justify mail-in voting. No. It's also because they're really horny for lockdowns.
Judge, if they keep testing for different strains of coronavirus, we're going to be locked down for the rest of our existence. I had cancer. My oncologist is a specialist in bone cancer. And every oncologist who deals with bone cancer identifies hundreds of coronaviruses inside of our bones. They've created a problem that can never actually be solved. So they can justify whatever it is they want to do.
I'm sorry, what? Your bones are riddled with coronavirus? Quick, lady, you need to swallow these magnets. Now, what I think Laura Logan was saying there is that we'll never stop finding new coronavirus variants when they test us because our bones are full of them. And look, this sounded wrong to me, but I'm not a bone doctor. I mean, I am, but... So we called a top oncologist just to make sure that we were right, and we were like, hey, weird question, but if you crack open a bone, do hundreds of coronaviruses fly out? And she was like, no. And also, why is everyone asking me this question today? So no, people, bones are not filled with coronaviruses, all right? They're filled with milk. Can we call her back and ask what bones are filled with? But according to Fox, now, Democrats are gonna force everyone into endless lockdowns. That's the plan. And the worst part is if Trump was still in office, this variant, which doesn't even exist, would already be defeated.
COVID is becoming endemic. It is going to continue to mutate. It's going to continue to evolve. It's all around planet Earth. If President Trump was still in office, by the way, we'd already have modified vaccines to deal with the new variants, which is a great point.
Okay, first of all, Stephen Miller, if President Trump was still in office? If? Someone's not a true believer. JFK Jr. will be so disappointed when he hears about this one. I mean, the idea that Donald Trump would have quickly handled a COVID variant is by far the least believable shit I have ever heard. You're gonna act like we all don't know this man? There's no way he would have handled it. First of all, he would have spent 4 months denying there was even a new variant. And then he would have wasted 6 more months saying that the vaccines were on their way, but then also don't worry about it because it's not going to hurt anybody, but also the vaccines are coming. And then he would have gotten Omicron himself, and then he would have been like, Omicron is real, folks, totally real, and I beat it. I karate chopped it so hard, I destroyed it, and now it cried to me. It said, Trump, why you did this to me? You beat me so hard. And I beat it, so now it's over. Congratulations to all, even the haters and the losers. I mean, you can't have a vaccine for a new variant a few days after you discover the variant, people. It's impossible. The only way you could do that is if you had a time machine. And we all know if Trump had a time machine, he wouldn't use it for that. He'd go back in time to hang baby Mike Pence. I'm just kidding. He'd probably use it to warn himself not to have that affair with Stormy Daniels. But then he'd get too horny and end up having a threesome with himself and Stormy Daniels. This is so great. There are fine people on both sides. Very fine people. Now look, anyone whose brain hasn't been rotted from Fox and Facebook knows that everything these people are saying is bullshit. Omicron is a real variant with real mutations and real spikes on its real proteins. And shit, that's how it works. Democrats are just trying to keep the pandemic going to stay in power. And the best way you can tell that is that a year ago, MAGA World was pushing the exact opposite conspiracy.
If it ends up that Biden wins in November, I guarantee you the week after the election, suddenly all those Democratic governors, all those Democratic mayors will say, everything's magically better. Go back to work, go back to school. Suddenly the problems are solved.
They'll milk it every single day between now and November 3rd. And guess what? After November 3rd, coronavirus will magically all of a sudden go away and disappear, and everybody will be able to reopen.
That's all I hear. Turn on television. Right? COVID, 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 COVID. By the way, on November 4th, you won't hear about it anymore. It's true. COVID!
COVID! COVID! COVID! This dude was president, and he's gonna be president again. Now, to be fair, for a while after the election, we did hear less about COVID, mostly because the news was about Donald Trump trying to overthrow the country. But this really shows you how drastically MAGA people have changed their conspiracies about COVID over time. I mean, you might even say they had to mutate their propaganda so that it could keep spreading in a new environment. I wonder if there's a medical parallel to the way these talking points are adapting over time. No,